This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Good afternoon, Oklahoma Sports Network. I'm your producer, Jacoby Brosi, and we are here today at SNU for some Saturday rugby between the SNU and the Kansas University Jayhawks. And I will be joining the booth with Ron, our play-by-play, and look like we're for the start. Yep, I'll be joining the booth with Gary here in a minute. I'm gonna take a quick commercial break here. Watch Oklahoma Sports Network.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Taking in the national anthem. Okay, that was the national anthem. And hey, Gary, can you hear me over there? Oh. Let's get Gary loaded.
All right, now I can hear you.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we
Yep.
go.
Yep. Got Gary in here in man hour again. You know, a lot of SNU fans been asking when's Gary's coming back, and we've been like, Gary's been a busy guy with the SNU going on, so now we have you back, and I know a lot of fans out there is excited.
Well, here we go. We just had the kickoff. Kansas is kicking off. Kansas is in the red, going from the right to the left. All right, we've got, we're going to have a very, very good game here today. We've got two teams very accomplished. The Kansas Jayhawks they've played 9 games, and they've tied one, and they've won everything else, and they've won by some very large margins. SNU's had one loss to the very, very well-respected Lindenwood side, and they are the best collegiate side in Oklahoma, so you're going to have a really good matchup. Right now, you've got SNU taking it through the paces. They're now working on their 4th phase. They're taking it through their center here. Looks like that's Quentin Pitty. All right, now we've got a lock that just took the ball. The hooker has just taken it to ground. This is 7 phases. And they're kicking for position. They did not find touch. The winger has taken the ball. They're counterattacking through the fullback. We've got it into the 1st phase. Kansas is getting to play with the ball. Justin Kanoba, the referee, is a very accomplished referee. He's been on some crews that have been doing MLR games, which is the professional league, so he has refereed some of the finest players in the world. We had an errant pass that went back. Kansas has recovered. The good counter ruck has destroyed the ruck, but Kansas was able to retain it. There is an advantage. Referee signaling for an advantage. We had offsides. SNU had closed the space, closed it early. So we have the first penalty of the game. Kansas is at their own 40-meter line. They're probably going to kick for position, and he does. He did find touch. So we're going to have our first line out of the game. You've got some good-sized players in the Kansas scrum. Looks like they're running a 4-man line, 5-man line. Referee blew the whistle. He saw something he didn't like. And they're going to have a reset. So SNU did try to contest that ball. What a great hit. Josh Karlstad was the one who laid that lick on that player. SNU has recovered. We had a faulty pass. SNU's recovered. Going out to Josh again. They're setting up the phases. You've got a pot of 3 going in. Setting up next phase. Back inside pass. Pot of 3 going down. The ball has trickled forward. Referee's not signaling that we had a knock on. And SNU retained possession. Take it back into contact. They're working their way across the field. What the purpose of this is to try and get quick ball and get reset before the defense can reset and get open space. Coming across the field, we have the kick pass. Pass didn't go wide, it went up the field instead, and it's been fielded by the fullback. He's counterattacking. We have a knock on there. The ball was taken, taken by SNU, but not taken cleanly, so it will be a scrum with the Kansas put in. As you can see by this, when the two teams line up across from each other, Kansas does have some size on them. So this is shaping up to be a really good contest today. You've got two very accomplished teams here. The Kansas scrum half is a sophomore companion. He's put the ball in. Kansas had the ball out. Again, we have another errant pass. SNU has recovered. SNU's counterattacking out of their own end. Josh Karlstad is, this is going to be an interesting call here. Well, the player got off very, very lucky with just the penalty. He could have been called for an intentional, cynical play. He was making no attempt to gather the ball in. He just stuck his hand out and prevented the pass from happening. He was very, very fortunate that he didn't get 10 minutes in the naughty bin. So, SNU is kicked for position. They're about the midfield stripe. They're having a line out. One of the SNU players is down, so SNU is continuing on with only 14 players. We've got a little hold up here at the line out. SNU's putting in the line out. It appears it's coming down to the number 4. It was tipped by the Kansas player, but SNU retained possession. SNU goes on the attack. The ball has gone into contact high. It is now gone to ground, so we have a ruck. SNU is moving forward. They've gone into the line. They're making a meter or two once they get into contact. The ball's gotten wide for the first time. Oh, the player has fallen badly, but SNU still retained the position. They still retain possession of the ball. The number 5 has gone in. Kansas was called for not releasing the player. The order of the tackle is once the tackle's been made and the player's been brought to ground, first thing the referee's looking for is to make sure that the tackler has released the player. The second thing he's looking for is make sure that the ball is played immediately by the player on the ground. And the third thing he's looking for is players to come in straight through the gate on their feet. In that instance, the tackler had not released the tackle, so the player did not have the proper opportunity to play the ball back, and the referee called it as such, and it was a penalty. Now, SNU has moved it wide, and they're moving down the field. They're making significant yards down through the train tracks on the edges of the field. Again, they moved it into the center of the field. They're looking at occupying the defenders. They're making steady progress down the field. They have a very efficient ruck happening here. Now we've got the big flanker, Elijah, makes a move down the field. And now, we had the overload, and they didn't put the ball out. They did have a one-man overload to the outside here. Here they come again. He's got the winger, and he does it. He tucked the ball instead of passing it. The referee called him for not releasing the ball once he was on the ground. The tackle had been made. The tackle had been released. The player had to release the ball. He did not. Penalty goes against SNU. Kansas gets the ball. They're obviously going to kick as far down the field as they can for position. Well, sometimes the best laid plans go awry. The ball went off the side of his foot, and they're still inside the 22. However, it will be the Kansas put-in. Looks like the SNU player is back up, and so they're operating at a full complement of 15 players. So Kansas is opting for a midfield, for a mid-line out jump. He overshot the mark. SNU has retained possession. SNU, we had a drop in the tackle. SNU has lost the ball. There's advantage to Kansas. It will be a Kansas scrum. Approximately it's about 5 meters from the goal line. Unfortunate loss of the ball in contact. Well, the smaller SNU pack has really held their own against the larger Kansas pack. So this is shaping up to be a mighty tussle here in the scrum. The referee has reset the scrum. The ball came directly out of the tunnel. It must be hooked back behind the front row. So the referee blows his whistle. We're going to do it all over again. They're moving to a different part of the field. Apparently the ground is getting a little bit chewed up and a little bit soft. So they're moving to the other side so they get a little bit better footing. The Kansas scrum is retreating. But the referee judged that SNU gained an unfair advantage by shifting their bind and driving in from the side. That's why it was starting to crab to the side. Kansas is going to try to kick the ball out, and they do, with a little better effect than they did last time, but not much. It's still inside the 22. We don't have that strong of a win. It is going into the faces of the Kansas players, but it appears that SNU may have a decided kicking advantage. And again, the lineout was overshot. The referee has adjudged that the lineout did not come in straight down the middle of the tunnel. So he's given the option to SNU, and SNU, based upon the ascendancy that it appears that they're starting to get, has opted for a scrum. Let's see if they can start to push that Kansas pack backwards again. If they are able to do that this early in the half, this could be a major part of the story here. And again, they are pushing them. He sheds the tackler kind of like a bad habit. Ball has gone straight down. Play on. We have the ruck formed again. Ball has come out. SNU has retained possession. The ruck has been formed. They're coming up now in a pick and drive. He's running free. The ball is free. They've gone in for another phase. It appeared if they could have gotten it wide, they had a score on there. Again, they're consolidating it. And they did the pick and drive, and they scored. not giving the defense time to reset. With a pick and drive, they picked the ball up and dived over. I didn't get the number. But it was for SNU. And the conversion kick was successful. So the score now is SNU 7, Kansas 0. Kansas moves back to the middle of the field. Rugby is, after all, a gentleman's game. If you score, you retain possession of the ball. So Kansas will now kick off to SNU. They kick off long into the corner. SNU takes it cleanly. And the player's moving down, but he's taken out of bounds. SNU's threatening a quick line out. SNU scrambles back. The ball is tipped. Kansas has retained possession, but they've been on the back foot, retreating. They're now tempted to get into an attacking posture. The player has been driven backwards in the tackle. It was a legal tackle. The ball was lost in the tackle. SNU has retained possession. SNU has come right through the center. He's into the back line. His help has finally caught up with him. The ruck has occurred. The back line is moving forward. Number 6 has taken the ball again into contact. He's lost it into contact again. Kansas now has the ball. That was a promising move that went nowhere. Kansas attempted to kick over the top for position, but again, their kicks are not finding touch, and their kicks are not generating the distance that you would like to see. That kick was from inside the 22-meter line. However, the ball was taken back by the Kansas team, so since it bounced out and it bounced in and then went out, the ball is placed where the ball went out, and it's SNU's throw-in. SNU executes a successful lineout, nice and clean. This generates a very clean attack. SNU has now done the miss pass to get it out to the wing. This is clearly where they want to attack, coming down the wing. Players were cleanly driven off the ball. Kansas is now, and a dropped pass in contact again. That is now the 4th time that SNU has lost the ball in contact. KU is continuing with their drive into the line. Referee has blown the whistle. We have a penalty, a Kansas penalty. SNU did not retreat the 10 meters and attack the ball, so the referee has marched off another 10 meters. And Kansas has finally found a little bit more distance on their kick. It will be a Kansas put-in. Now let's see if they can get their lineout working a little bit better. They've overthrown the last 3 lineouts. They were able to retain one of those, but they lost the other 2. There we go. That was a successful lineout. Oh, and the number 10 for Kansas successfully avoided a kamikaze rush. SNU is clearly employing a pressure defense, and their line speed is very, very quick. We just had a high tackle. The referee is playing the advantage. He had the arm out. Kansas has retained possession. Now, they're playing the advantage. And in rugby, the advantage is if the team who had the infraction on whom the infraction was done against, if they have possession of the ball, the referee allows them to continue playing until one of 2 things happens. Either a tactical advantage has been gained or a numerical advantage has been gained. Now, in both of these situations, neither of those, well, the advantage has been deemed over, that they had moved sufficiently down the field. The referee determined that a tactical advantage had been made. That's why when the errant pass went forward, SNU was able to take the ball and head up the field. SNU, as per their plans, moved the ball quickly to the sideline, and we're going down the sideline until the player stepped out of bounds. It will now be a Kansas put in where he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good back-to-back fourth match, being hard.
Really has. Really has. Now, I did not see what happened. I had looked at you.
Yeah.
Was the ball tipped back by the Kansas player? That had to have been what happened because the referee didn't call it. Yeah.
That's why I heard some of the players, some of the women SNU rugby players are saying.
All right, so what's happened here is SNU left their feet, which effectively sealed the ball off, so the Kansas players coming in were not able to get the ball back, which is a penalty for leaving the feet in the ruck. This time they got a little bit better distance, and because it was a penalty, it will be the Kansas ball, Kansas put in on the lineout.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like they're setting up for front of the line. Ooh, that's not a good call when the referee's standing at the front of the line. If the referee's standing in the back of the line, he's not as likely to see that the ball didn't go 5 meters.
Oh, yeah.
If it comes into the line, once you throw it in, it has to come in at least 5 meters. And in that situation, what happened was the referee was standing right there in front of him. They served it up. It didn't go 5.
Oh.
He stepped into the 5-meter zone. So yeah, if you're going to make that call, make sure the referee's at the back.
Is it pretty common for most teams to do that, or is it just something?
It's a variation that is used. In fact, the Japanese team uses it very effectively. In fact, at one point, the Japanese team, one of the innovations that they had done was they were bouncing the ball in.
Oh, I never seen that before.
Exactly, and neither had the team they had been playing. They were like, "Are they allowed to do this? What's going on here?" So there's still a place for innovation in the game. Oh, that was an excellent take. They've got the out. They've got the overload. Oh, the ball went backwards.
Ooh.
They're shedding the tacklers, and the reason they're able to do that is the tacklers are still coming high. That was a red hand that knocked the ball down, but they knocked it backwards. Referee is judging it was black hand that knocked it down. So it's going to be a scrum. They're playing the advantage. So far, no advantage has been made. Because they have willingly kicked the ball away, because they willingly kicked the ball away, they kicked away their advantage.
Yeah.
So it's going to be SNU put in, and because the ball was taken back into the defensive zone, it's not going to be where the ball went out. It's going to be where the kicker was.
Okay.
All right. If you take it back into the defensive zone, it's judged as if the ball wasn't in the defensive zone. It's just regular field of play.
Was he hoping for his teammate to get the ball?
Well, now that's how you execute the front of a line. They just did it. And the player stayed stationary. He didn't step into the ball. All right, so we've got a ruck here. The ball has gotten tied up. Kansas has slowed the ball down. Penalty is now against Kansas. Kansas must retreat 10. And let's see, do they go for the corner or do they go for the points? The captain has gone for the corner. We now have a line out on the 5-meter line. Now, the common tactic in rugby here is to take the ball, bring it down, hold it, and use your forwards to drive forward with the power. Expect SNU to attempt to bring this ball down and to pile in and drive the ball over. There's a success. Oh, the ball did not come in straight.
Oh, man.
So now Kansas has the option. They can do another lineout or they can do a scrum. They have opted for the scrum. They feel that the scrum is a safer attacking option. What they're going to try and do is get that ball back and get it to one of their kickers and get it down the field, get the position on the field. Now, the last couple Kansas scrums have done much better. SNU is getting the push on. Again, the scrum is scrabbing. And again, the referee is judging that SNU is employing illegal scrum tactics, which is causing that scrum to crab around like that. Oh, finally there's a good kick. Excellent play. The player jumped in the air and batted the ball back inside, and so they were able to play on, only to have the ball dropped by one of his other players. So it's now going to be a Kansas scrum. Just north of the 40-meter line. Referee's having a word with the front rows. Front row from SNU is asking what it is that they're doing wrong that's causing the penalties. And the referee was explaining to them what they're doing is they're changing their binding position, and that's what's causing things to go awry. But again, the push is on, and this time it's a push straight. Kansas has really got some problems with that scrum. Player was taken 5 meters behind the gain line. Kansas has cleaned it up with a scrum. Good discipline on the SNU side. They started to come forward, and they did not. Kansas used the basketball pass, but that pass went forward. Kansas captain could not believe it went forward, but it did. Referee was standing right there. And it's now going to be an SNU scrum. And let's see if they use that power. I would expect at some point the SNU number 8 to hold the ball in and start driving that scrum down the field. That's a very effective tactic in a situation such as what you've got here because it takes the legs out of the scrum from the other team. It's basically like a body shot in boxing. And you keep doing that, and you take the legs away from the guys who have to get around the field to retain possession. So let's see if SNU employs that. Again, they're preparing to move it out. Oh, another mishandling of the ball. Referee is a judge that it gone backwards. And he picked it up, and they chose to clean it up now. Kansas has his hand on the ball. The player on the ground is not allowing the Kansas player on his feet to take the ball, so the penalty goes against SNU. Once again, for holding the ball onto the ground. That's the second time they've had that call. This period is flying by. We're going to have a Kansas line out. The referee is adjudging that the tackle was an illegal tackle. The player was clearly lifted, and even though it was not that far past vertical, he was still driven into the ground. And that's illegal. It's a dangerous tackle. So the referee has issued a yellow card, and SNU will play short for the next 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. I think that's my first time ever seeing a card be issued.
Yep. So let's see if that gives a lift to the Kansas team. Excellent kick to the side. They found touch. It bounced in, and they found touch. SNU's right back down in the Kansas end. Probably 70% of this half has been played in the Kansas side of the field.
Yeah.
So this is a territorial dominance by the SNU team. Again, they're going for the middle line out, and it was snaffled by SNU. The ruck got there, cleaned out the other players. SNU has nice clean ball. You'll notice that the ball is now slowed down. They're not trying to move the ball as fast. They've got 10 minutes to burn until they get their player back. But they're still trying to move the ball and move it wide. That's where their tactical advantage is. They have the overlap. If they had gone wide, they had a two-man overlap.
That's what I was just about to say about
yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's there. There it goes. There you go. It's going wide, and it's a score.
Yep.
All right. Now I'm looking for the number on this guy. I know which one it was. Was that the scrum half? Number 14, it was the winger. The SNU winger, number 14.
So is it very common for like a winger to score in a rugby match?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Very much. Those are your finishers. And it appears that it was Nick Hafford. That would be Nick Hafford that just scored.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of.
Did they make the kick? I don't think they did. I did not hear the whistle.
Yeah, I don't think they made the kick.
Once again, Kansas will kick off. They got good distance on this kick. Ball was not taken cleanly. Kansas is now in attacking position. It's only their second time today. They've been down in the SNU end. They're 5 meters from the goal. Good attacking defense. SNU lost the ball in contact, but the referee judges that it was an illegal SNU hand. They were offsides. So now SNU must get back on the goal line, and Kansas will attack and try to get it over. There's a good chop tackle done there. Again, the SNU line speed is driving them back. They've lost distance in both of those instances. The ball has been held up. They were able to get the ball out again. It's been held up, and they're literally carrying the player back. That was a maul, but the maul has collapsed. We now have a ruck. The ball's on the ground. And again, the line speed. SNU's attacking defense is paying off. Kansas doesn't appear to have an answer on how to get through. There we go. They overlap there, and the player was tackled. Support. Chop tackle. Another chop tackle. They're attempting to go down the fringes of the ruck. Referee has the arm out again. We have offsides against SNU. They're up early, closing the gap. Referee is right there. Ball has not been touched down yet. And Kansas has just scored. For the Kansas parents, I would love to tell you which of your sons scored, but they're not wearing numbers on the back of their jerseys, so it's very, very difficult. So we're just going to chalk that up to a team score.
Yeah, it took me a minute to realize they didn't have numbers on the back.
Yeah.
I kept looking down the corner end zone to see what number that was, and I was like, I can't find a number.
Exactly. So now, in rugby, the conversion kick is taken from a point directly out onto the field from where the ball was touched to the ground. Now, the player can bring it out as far or as close as they want, but it must be in a line with where the ball was touched to the ground. That's why he's kicking from out here. And he made it. Good kick. Excellent kick. The score is now SNU 12, Kansas 7.
Yeah, I know me and you was talking, I was telling you pre-game about how Kansas was looking. I was like, they look pretty good, intense. They looked focused and ready to go. And then you mentioned to me how Kansas is still undefeated for their team. So I think it's a very good matchup between the two. They've both been playing tremendous. Kansas is bringing a good defense. I've been seeing a defensive game today for sure. And I'm excited what the outcome is going to be of this game. They both going like a back-and-forth steady score and keeping it maintained from scoring. And so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing from both sides.
It's going to come down to the last 10 minutes, fitness.
Oh, yeah.
And performance under fatigue. Looks like that score has energized Kansas to where they're now they're looking much more lively, and they're using their muscle upend tacklers. Again, they moved the ball to the weak. Player did not go out of bounds. We have a good tackle. SNU player is on the ground struggling to get out of there. Ball has been moved to the middle of the field. Again, moved to the middle of the field. Contact is taken. The overlap has been created. If they can get the ball quickly out. Pass was high. They weren't able to move it fast. So they're taking it in, cleaning it up again. Into the middle of the field. See if they can create another overlap. They had the overlap, but an errant pass stopped it from happening. The player this time, yes? We had a fan there just letting us know that they're enjoying the game. In this instance, the referee adjudged that the player had become isolated. SNU was over him on their feet. They were entitled to the ball. Player held on to the ball. Penalty went to SNU. SNU realized that the half was over, so they kicked the ball, tapped the ball, and then kicked it out of bounds to end the half. So the halftime score is SNU 12, Kansas 7. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, and I'm just going to send us to a quick commercial break. You're watching Rugby Saturday on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Okay, we're going to Sports Nerds, the end of the half, and now we're going to start their second half. And right now, Southern Nazarene 12 and Kansas University 7. And hand it back over to you, Gary.
Thank you. Well, during our halftime entertainment, we had the field streaked by a 3-year-old streaker with a trail of parents trying to catch him. Top quality family entertainment.
Yeah, I wish I had the camera rolling on that one.
I know, I was wishing too, because that kid had some moves.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned to Gary. I was like, we should put him on the rugby team.
Yeah. Okay, the referee's blown the whistle and the clock has started. Kansas has received. Again, they've gone right into the set piece. They're moving to open up the field. They're moving the ball into the short side of the field, attacking the short side. SNU, beautiful steal. Player was on his feet and entitled to the ball. We have a series of knock-ons there. Referee's going to play the first knock-on back further up the field. And it will be Kansas ball. In rugby, a knock-on is anytime the ball is moved forward off of a player's hand. Now, if the player uses his body, his head, it's not a knock-on. But if it's anything from his shoulder to his fingertips and the ball goes forward, that is going to be a knock-on. Now, if that ball goes forward and hits another player of the opposing side, then the whistle is blown. If the ball goes forward and hits the ground, the whistle is blown. But if the player retains the possession, it goes forward, doesn't hit anybody else, and the player is able to retain possession, there is no knock-on, and it's play on.
Okay.
So we've got, it appears the first scrum the referee didn't like, so he's blown it up, and the Kansas scrum half is going to put the ball in. He taps and puts the ball in. He's using a 1 count, but they've lost the feet against the head. SNU has taken the ball again. Again, exerting that scrum dominance. SNU's taking it into its phases. Ball was not passed cleanly. The ball was dropped. Referee has gone back for the penalty. Kansas was offside and trying to attack and defend the turnover ball. SNU is kicked into the corner. They're trying that same tactic of taking the ball and driving over the ground, driving over the goal. SNU number 5, Big Garrett Elder, looks to be the obvious target at the back of the line. Looks like he and Sam Wells. Sam Wells is going to be the lifter. Garrett will probably be the jumper. No, it's Garrett who's the jumper. I'm sorry, it was Sam Wells who was the jumper on that. SNU has found the gap. They're out to the edge. What they're going to do is set it. They'll drive it up into the center. They will probably drive it one more time. Oh, they're making good grounds through the middle. The gang tackle means that somebody's unaccounted for. Oh! We had offsides. Kansas was up early. It was an offside play. That's why that pass went awry. It was being done in traffic because Kansas had been up early. And it appears that SNU has opted for the points on this one. They're directly in front of the posts. So they're opting to keep that scoreboard ticking and taking the 3 points. So the kick was good. I'm counting a full 15 players in black out there on the field. So it appears that the yellow card was over. It's been served and it's been over.
Oh yeah. That's,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he's out for 10 minutes, huh? 10
Exactly.
minutes,
He should have been on for 10 minutes. I'm sorry I did not keep track of what time that card was given.
yeah. And Kansas,
So Kansas is kicked off. And SNU's made no pretense now. They did not go up, take it up into contact. They put it right out to the middle of the centers. And they've made yards again through the centers. They're making positive yards almost every carry. I believe we have the penalty. We have the advantage being played, I believe. I thought I saw the referee's arm out. They did make the kick, yeah. And again, positive yards through the center of the field. That does not bode well in the long term for Kansas. They're starting to fall off tackles now. SNU moved the ball to the opposite side of the field with very little effort that time. They're becoming much more fluid in their patterns of play. Kansas put the ball in. They settled it down, an errant pass out to the fly half, caused another knock on. It's now a scrum with SNU's put in. We're starting to see changes to the front row. SNU has actually brought in more size into the front row. Let's see what effect this has on a Kansas front row that has played the entire first period. His scrum has started to wheel off center, so the referee blew the whistle and asked them to start again. The objective is to have both scrums pushing straight. And when you're wheeling like that, that means that already you have things off balance. And the reason that you shoot for that objective is because then things are safe. Whenever you're starting to wheel, things can collapse, and that's when things get dangerous. Oh, we have an attack to the weak side. SNU has now opened up the field. Let's see if they move. Oh, they lost the ball. So it's now Kansas ball. SNU had what they wanted there. They had a quick move to the weak side, which opened up the interior of the field. And they did have a one-man overlap, but they did not successfully complete the passes. All right, we had an advantage being played. We had offsides by SNU. That is their third time being adjudged offsides down in the attack zone. They're going to have to tighten that up a little bit. You don't get many opportunities down there, so you want to be efficient whenever you get there. So we're 10 minutes into the second half. There's only been 3 points scored. Let's see if Kansas can get that ball and move it out of their own end. They have the win this half, so let's see if that has an effect on their kicking. Their kicking has been somewhat anemic. Again, they went for the first man in the line out. They were successful this time, but the defensive line speed is up early. And the ruck is 5 meters behind where the lineout was. So they've lost 5 meters without losing possession. SNU, this late in the game, has still retained their defensive line speed. Now, that was a much, much better kick for position. SNU backs did a small imitation of the Keystone Cops. They kicked to the wing. The ball was retained by the Kansas player. The SNU number 12 tapped to himself, makes a beautiful outlet pass, gets up and runs again. He's allowed to do that. He wasn't held in the tackle. And now they're going into contact. The support is there. And again, now they're moving it into the big, fresh legs of the new prop. And the referee, rightly so, adjudges that the player took too many turns while on the ground and prevented the team on its feet from taking the ball. Oh, once again, the Kansas foot lets them down. So it's going to be a Kansas line out inside their own 22. Kansas has retained possession, and we have a good outlet kick. They've moved the ball down into the other side of the field. I'm looking for the flag. The flag has been raised just on the SNU side of the midfield stripe. It will be SNU's put in into the lineout. The ball was bantied about. Referee judges that did not go forward. That ball went forward, so it'll be an advantage. But SNU has stolen the ball back. And they're moving the ball down the field. Again, moving it through contact. They're getting a steady 3 to 4 meters after contact. Whoa. Beautiful attack through the center with the big man. Oh, the pass went afield.
That would have been nice.
They had support. He had support, but it went to the ground. And Kansas is now counterattacking. SNU has stolen the ball again. They are very, very well versed at stealing the ball. Snaffling the ball on the ground, or jackling as they call it.
Yeah, that's for a second I thought they was going to break free when I seen the corner.
And once again, ball has an errant pass, and Kansas kicks for clearance. Just as I disparaged their kicking, they're making me look bad with 2 really good kicks to clear the zone. They're taking the ball in hand, playing it Fijian style from under their own posts. It appears that SNU has jackled the ball again, and they have. Oh, we have a threat here. Number 11 has weaved his way down through. He's approximately, and once again, they lose the ball in contact. SNU must work on that.
Yeah, that Kansas.
They have to retain possession. That is 7 balls that they've lost down inside the offensive zone, inside the strike zone. They've lost in contact. They've got to do a better job of retaining that.
Oh, yeah, they got very good awareness.
Yes. Referee has adjudged that there was a high tackle, illegal high tackle. Kansas is taking the ball quickly, trying to attack before the SNU defense is set. They've now reset themselves. Referee has seen another infraction. And again, Kansas attacks quickly. They've made good meters with this quick attack before SNU can get themselves set. We have another kick over the top. SNU player takes it and takes it out of bounds. Unfortunately, falls out of bounds. It will be Kansas put in at the SNU defensive 22-meter line. Now, what we're seeing is this is where fitness is starting to show. The first signs of fatigue, you're seeing Kansas players bent over, hands on knees.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like you said it's going to come down to the last 10 minutes. Who can finish?
And the defensive line speed is still there. Oh, what a beautiful jackal. What a beautiful jackal. Oh, very unlucky, very unlucky. Again, Kansas has been invigorated by that passage of play. They're showing a little bit more life now, a little more pep to their step. But here comes that defensive line speed again, neutralizing the whole thing. They're trying to attack weak, and the ball has gone wide. Ball has gone to ground. It will be a scrum to SNU.
So is it pretty smart to like kick the ball out of bounds if it comes to like a heckle or a eject like that?
No. You generally, the good teams want to keep the ball in play.
Okay.
They'll do anything they can to keep it from going out of bounds. What you saw there was frustration. All right, we are now almost halfway through the second half. And in rugby in boxing parlance, these are the championship rounds.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, now you'll notice that the Kansas scrum, notice how the backs are now a little bit higher.
Yeah. Is this indication they're tired, getting tired?
That's the fatigue. And what has happened is SNU has now turned up the pressure by moving that ball faster, wider. But the player was isolated, and they stole the ball. And Kansas just returned the favor. Their player attacked fast. But the danger with attacking fast is that if your support doesn't know what you're doing, you can become isolated. And that's exactly what happened there. The Kansas player attacked. The support players were a step slow. And the SNU jacklers were over it and got the ball. Player was holding on in the tackle. Much better clearing kick from SNU. It will be their lineup.
So when they kick the balls, the point of it is just like for position, just like for field position?
Well, this was on a penalty.
Oh.
And when you're kicking on a penalty, what you're trying to do is get as far up the field as possible and get it directly out of bounds. If it doesn't go out of bounds, then you're subject to a counterattack. But they got it out of bounds, and so it's going to be their put in because it was a straight arm penalty. And notice I made the delineation of a straight arm penalty because there is a bent arm penalty, and that's a completely different thing. We'll cover that when it comes up. Okay.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that.
Okay, now we had an attack. Kansas was able to force the SNU player out of bounds. Oh, you can't do that. You're allowed to lift the jumper, but you can't build a pyramid in there. And when the player went up, and the whole purpose of this is for player safety. And what's happened is, oh my goodness, SNU had the opportunity. They tipped it back to themselves, and they didn't get it. Oh! It appears a try was scored against the run of play, but the referee has not signaled it yet.
Watch and wait for the ref signal.
The referee is talking to the assistant referee to see what he saw. He has awarded the try. Now, this is not an easy kick. He put that ball down just inside the sideline, and so the kick is going to be from as far as close as the player wants. They typically bring this further out so that they can have a wider angle on the goal. But this is not going to be an easy kick.
So in this situation, will you have width for the score, or will you like have kind of like out of bounds it and redo the play so you score towards the middle to get an easier kick?
No, what typically happens is, first of all, your first priority when you get across the line is to get the ball to the ground. That's your first priority. Now, if you can, you'd like to run it around to get it underneath the posts.
Okay.
But if their players are on you like they were dragging on his ankles. All right, here's the kick.
Oh,
and he didn't have the leg for
Just
it.
a little more air on it.
So that makes the score Kansas 12, SNU 15. Much closer game now.
We have a ball game.
But again, I point to the fact that not one SNU player has had his hands on his hips and has been bent. We've seen that multiple times in Kansas. So let's see what happens in this last 20 minutes. Again, defensive line speed is still there. Tackle has been adjudged. SNU, all right, here comes the clearing kick. Went directly out of bounds. It was a good kick. Now, both sides have had their adventures with lineouts. So let's see what happens on this. All right, referee is adjudged that the ball was kicked from in front of the 22. So the ball is, therefore, since it's in front of the defensive zone, the ball is where, and it went directly out, the ball is where the kicker was kicking from. SNU, once again, took the ball, but they dropped it. The ball went to ground. They've cleaned it up now. They're bringing it up. The support players are there. Player's gone in. He's isolated. He's isolated. And now they've moved it. Now they've moved it. If they can, oh, they've got it wide. Oh, they had the overlap. Didn't use it. But it's still moving. They're moving that pack from Kansas around the field. They're forcing them to run. There's big number 5. He's made his presence felt. And it burst up the middle, right through the heart of the action. There's big number 4. SNU is driving straight ahead. Referees adjudged that it was held up over the line. He was not able to get it to the ground. They crossed the goal line, but he couldn't get it to the ground. It will be a goal line kick, a goal line dropout. So Kansas will now kick back to SNU with a drop kick. And again, it's a good clearing kick, but not out. SNU now has the opportunity to counterattack. We had a high tackle. It appears the referee was not able to see it. He's probably blocked by another player. Number 16, he's got the ball on the outside. The ball has been set. We have a clean set. Number 17, he's definitely. Oh, number 12's coming at pace and scores. Beautiful attacking rugby. Beautiful attacking rugby.
Yeah, you called it. You said earlier, Gary, before the break, you said it's going to come down to the last 2 minutes of how this game will play out. And that's what it's looking like right now in the last 2 minutes. You kind of notice that right now Kansas got their hands on their waist, watering up, tired.
Well, and SNU has picked up the pace, definitely picked up the pace. You notice they went from the other side of the field to this side of the field in 3 passes.
Oh, yeah.
They still have to clean up those passes a little bit, but the passes are now finding hands instead of ground.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what they need. Now, again, you notice the kick is right in front of the post because that's where he put it down. So the score is now 25-12 in SNU's favor. The player that I see is making, the player who's making the biggest difference on this field is the number 12 from SNU.
Oh, yeah.
Mdingi, I believe is what his name is. But
you've been calling him all day.
yeah, and the thing is that he has a very sophisticated hesitation move,
Oh yeah.
which draws the defense. He clearly is playing at a different speed
Oh yeah.
in his mind. Elvin Sangora. And again, they're moving the ball to the other side of the field. Now look at how it opens up this side of the field. Look at all the players back here. Look at the line. And they're running onto the ball. Oh, well, they're running away from the ball. Now they're running to the sideline. Oh! All right, they've cleaned it up. And they will probably go up into the centers. Kansas is trying to tackle the ball to get the ball moving. The inside pass. And again, cleaning it up to the support. They're going to go to the wide side of the field because they want to open the field up again to play running rugby. And they're coming through the center. Oh, his support was not there. Passed it to, oh, good. Beautiful tackle by Galindo. Beautiful tackle. Referee's got his arm out, signaling an advantage. That was a very legal tackle, but the player is still down. Clearly had his wind knocked out of him. That's good sportsmanship by Tavita Crisp.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay, it was two of them now. Okay, I was looking at both sides. I was like seeing what's going on. I just seen this one, and I just see the SNU player get up.
Well, it appears that they're treating this player for cramps.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I was never fast enough for cramps.
Yeah.
Cramps happen to the fast guys.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, is it pretty common for cramps to happen during the?
Yeah, for the fast guys.
I
For
know
us,
Charlie Horse can happen.
us slow plodding guys, we never have those. You're never going to see a Clydesdale ball up in cramps. That just doesn't happen. We've now got 8 minutes left in the game. There's probably some additional injury time. Let's see if this scrum by SNU starts to exert its dominance. And for that to happen, what I would expect to see is a secondary shove by SNU where they drop their backs and they push straight up through the hips. Oh. Referee said that the front row for SNU hinged. Basically what they did is rather than take the pressure from the other side, they just bent at the hips, which is a dangerous move because it drives the other front row into the ground. And again, look at that defensive line speed. They have lost 10 meters and they never lost control of the ball. And they never bobbled the ball. And again, it's happening again. Mdingy, again, number 12 up on them. And Kansas lost the ball in contact. SNU takes it wide, trying to clear the contact area. SNU's taking it straight down the middle. Oh, running for the ball. Errant pass went behind him. Oh, a kick to the wings. SNU knocks on in the pickup. No advantage was taken. The referee's going to come back. For the first knock on by Black. Will be, oh, I'm sorry, it was a knock on by Red, so it's going to be a Black put in to the scrum. Kansas is now starting to ring the changes in. There's still 5 minutes left in the game. It is going to be a Kansas put in. And that scrum starts moving backwards, so they're on the back foot. Tackle was high. It was a seatbelt tackle over the shoulder. Wasn't particularly dangerous, but it was high. Referee was right there, picked up on it. Kansas ball again. They're kicking for position. There's a little air of desperation now creeping into the Kansas game. They realize that they've got to find new energy sources. Who's going to be the player to step up? The referee called, and he was exactly right on the call. The player came up early and never retreated, so he was he had gained an advantage on his position on the errant pass. So the referee called the offsides, and Kansas will kick for position again. But the net effect of all this is it's still eating at time. So will be a Kansas put in the lineout. Now their previous jumper is now gone, so who are they going to throw to? Oh, clean lineout. Referee says it's not straight. That's why it appeared so clean. SNU's put it into the scrum. Of course, they've chosen the scrum instead of the lineout. They did have the option to choose the lineout, but they have been so successful with the scrum, even despite their scrum penalties. Again, when they're setting up, I want you to take note of the position of the SNU backs in the scrum. Notice how the SNU, their backs are all straight, and they're pushing straight through. When they extend, it's going to be a straight line up through the heels of the last man all the way to the front row. And here they are with 1 minute left in the game, and they're still showing really, really good form.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this. Again, you see how it's a straight line all the way back to the heels. That's good form. It's a solid platform. It's gone. It's come out wide. They've got it where they want it. And back inside. Player's gone to ground. They must release the tackle. They're going wide again. They're going wide again. They're attacking in those zones. Kansas was successfully able to bundle them out of bounds, but that's eating up the clock. We're now in injury time. Just depends on how much time the referee allowed for injuries and other stoppages in play. The referee did determine that there was a penalty, and he has awarded a penalty to SNU. Will they kick to the corner? And that's exactly what they do. Again, this is all taking time. And they realize that the clock is their enemy now. Ball has come wide again.
He's pick a hole.
They attempted to pass back inside, bounced off the opposing player. SNU retained possession. Tackle has been called. They must release the tackle. The ball has gotten tied up. The referee's calling it for not rolling away, calling the players for pulling it down and not rolling away. He determined that that was a maul. A maul is when the ball is held up and the players are brought along. You're not allowed to intentionally collapse that because that is dangerous play. Referee, by that motion, is indicating that somebody in red willingly pulled it down. Now, what has happened is that the SNU player did not realize that you cannot end the game on a penalty. And so he had to tap the ball and then kick it out of bounds. But instead, he kicked it directly out. That's why his player is motioning to him, what are you doing? You got to tap it first, then the game is over. So now they have to go through the lineup. They have to win it in order to kick the ball out of bounds. And now they kick it out. Oh, my goodness. It didn't go out. It didn't. But the referee's blown the whistle about something. It wasn't straight. And so now they have to scrum again.
So if he can get this ball plugged out of bounds, this game will end.
Yes, it will. But I have seen matches that have gone 14, 15 extra minutes because it can't end on a penalty, and it was just play after play after play after play.
So have you ever seen a match where, because of that way, the other team may have came back and won?
Yes, absolutely. All right, it was a knock-on. The game is over. The match is over. So with that, SNU wins the match 25-12.
Yep, that's what I got, 25-12.
Well, it turned out to be a very entertaining match, and thank you for coming out. It was a good game.
Oh, yeah, I think that was like the first match I ever seen where like it was kind of like still kind of close, not too.
It was competitive.
Yeah,
it was competitive.
Competitive throughout the whole game.
But clearly both sides have got some cleaning up to do.
Yeah.
How you doing?
All right, thank you, Gary.
I'm going to sign off. Thank you.
Referee for the next matchup, so take over. There you go, Sports Nerd. That's the end of that Saturday matchup between SNU and KU. We'll be back live at 4 o'clock for the Group B of the SNU Rugby versus Kansas University Rugby. You watching Saturday Rugby on Oklahoma Sports Network.